Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today into something a bit unexpected.
Unexpected.
Well, kinda. We're looking at an ancient system of land distribution.
Ah, sounds fascinating.
It is. But stick with me here,
Okay, I'm intrigued.
because we're going to uncover some seriously relevant lessons for today's world.
I'm all ears.
You might be thinking, ancient land, what's that got to do with my life? But trust me.
I have a feeling you're about to make that connection for us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, this deep dive is about more than just physical land. It's about how a group of people, the Israelites, came together after a massive upheaval.
Right, after escaping slavery in Egypt and conquering the land of Canaan.
Yeah, they had to figure out how to build a fair and functional society, rebuild and move forward.
Wow, that's a challenge we can all relate to on some level.
Absolutely. So picture this. These Israelites are gathered at Shiloh.
Shiloh, now that's a significant place.
Why is that?
Well, it was where the tabernacle stood, their central place of worship, portable.
Ah, like a symbol of their unity?
Exactly. It was like a giant gathering point, a reminder of their shared faith, values, you name it.
So essential for creating that sense of community as they built their new society.
Exactly. Can't have a society without some common ground, right?
Makes total sense.
Oh.
Okay, so they're at Shiloh, but here's the thing. 7 of the 12 tribes are still waiting for their land inheritance.
Oh, I can see how that could cause some tension.
All right, a recipe for some serious conflict.
You'd think, but that's where their leader, Joshua, steps in.
What did he do?
He doesn't let the situation fester. He actually challenges the tribes
To do what?
to take initiative, claim what's rightfully theirs.
Instead of just sitting around.
Exactly. It's a powerful reminder for us, even today, to be proactive in shaping our own lives.
Love that.
Hmm.
But I bet he didn't just tell them to rush in blindly, right?
Oh no, Joshua was methodical about it. He instructed each tribe to send out representatives, to scout the land.
To survey and describe it before they actually divided it up.
That's it. It's about gathering information, planning carefully before making big decisions.
Okay, so they've got the lay of the land. Now, the big question, how do you divide it fairly between all these tribes?
Well, this might sound a bit strange to us today.
How so?
They cast lots before the Lord.
Cast lots. What does that even mean?
Basically, they used a random method to ensure fairness. It was their way of saying, hey, let's let a higher power guide this process.
Interesting. So they could avoid any accusations of bias or favoritism.
Exactly. It's about transparency, creating a system where everyone feels like they got a fair shake.
Wow, some serious wisdom there. So we've got unity, initiative, preparation, fairness. What else can we learn from this ancient land division?
Well, the next piece is all about the details. When they describe each tribe's inheritance, it's incredibly specific.
Like down to the last acre.
Pretty much. They list landmarks, geographical features, even specific cities. It's all carefully laid out.
I'm guessing this goes beyond just property lines, though, right?
You got it. This is about boundaries.
Boundaries.
Knowing what's yours to manage, to be responsible for. It's about stewardship, not just of land, but of everything in life.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. You're saying these ancient principles about dividing land have something to teach us about personal growth even today.
Absolutely. Imagine applying that same level of intentionality and thoughtfulness to your own life.
I'm starting to see it. It's like a blueprint for building a life of purpose, clarity, and responsibility.
Exactly. And just like in the story of the Israelites, when these principles are applied together, they lay the foundation for a thriving community.
So if we want to thrive, we need to pay attention to these ideas of unity, proactive action, careful planning, fairness, and setting clear boundaries.
That's a great summary.
Okay.
And to see how those principles play out in real life, let's delve into the details of one tribe's inheritance.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
All right, so we're focusing on the tribe of Benjamin now.
Benjamin. Okay.
And just like with the other tribes, their territory, it's described in amazing detail.
What kind of detail?
We're talking boundaries marked by valleys, springs, you name it.
Wow, that's specific.
Oh, yeah. And they even list out the cities within their territory. It's all meticulously recorded.
Like they were really serious about making sure everyone knew where their land began and ended.
Exactly. And I think there's a deeper lesson here,
About boundaries.
Yeah. Think about it. How many conflicts, big or small, come from unclear boundaries?
I see what you mean.
In relationships, at work, even within ourselves, knowing our limits, it's crucial.
So you're saying these ancient property lines are actually a metaphor for something much bigger.
Absolutely. It's about understanding what we're responsible for, what we will and won't tolerate.
So it's not just about physical space. It's about having healthy boundaries, in all areas of life.
That's it. It's about protecting our well-being, creating a framework for healthy interactions.
Okay, I'm on board with the concept, but how do we actually put this into practice?
Well, I think it starts with self-awareness.
Knowing ourselves.
Exactly. What are your values? What are your non-negotiables? What drains your energy?
And once you know those things, you can start setting boundaries that actually protect and nurture you.
Exactly. And remember, setting boundaries, it's not selfish. It's actually quite the opposite.
How so?
It allows us to show up as our best selves in our relationships, to truly give and receive in a healthy way.
This is making a lot of sense. So we've talked about unity, initiative, preparation, fairness, and now boundaries.
Quite a list, isn't it?
It is. And it's amazing how these ancient ideas about land division are so relevant to us today.
It's really remarkable. They offer such a timeless framework for building a life that is both fulfilling and grounded.
It's like a blueprint for how to live intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we actually bridge the gap between understanding these principles and actually living them out?
That's the real challenge, right? It takes intentionality, consistent effort, and a good dose of patience.
So it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress little by little.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
being kind to ourselves along the way.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation. Are there any other key takeaways you'd want to leave us with?
Well, I think the most important thing is to remember that we have agency.
We have a choice.
Yes, we have the power to choose how we respond to challenges, how we set our boundaries, and ultimately how we shape our own lives.
It's like we're not just passive passengers, we're active participants in creating our own destinies.
Exactly, and remember that creation, it doesn't happen in isolation.
We need each other.
We do. Just like those 12 tribes coming together, we thrive when we collaborate, when we support each other, and when we respect each other's boundaries.
This deep dive started with ancient land division, and now we're talking about personal growth and building a better world. It's amazing how connected it all is.
And that interconnectedness, that's at the heart of it all.
We're all part of something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly. And when we embrace these principles, unity, initiative, preparation, fairness, and boundaries, we create a more fulfilling life for ourselves and contribute to a more just and harmonious world for everyone.
That's a beautiful thought. And it brings us to the end of our deep dive into this ancient story.
But the conversation doesn't have to end here, does it? It really doesn't. In fact, I think this is where the real journey begins.
The journey of applying these principles to our own lives.
Exactly. We've unpacked these powerful ideas of unity, initiative, preparation, fairness, and boundaries.
And I think we've all had some aha moments along the way.
I hope so. But now it's about taking those aha moments and turning them into action.
So where do we even start?
Well, I always go back to that idea of territory.
Right, we were talking about that earlier.
It's about defining what's important to you, what you're responsible for, what you're willing to fight for.
It's like drawing those boundaries, those lines in the sand, both literally and figuratively.
Exactly. It's about claiming ownership of your life, your values, your choices.
And not being afraid to step up and take action, just like Joshua urged the Israelites to do.
It's such a powerful image, isn't it? He didn't just hand them a map and say, good luck. He challenged them to go out and make it happen.
And to do it with intentionality and careful planning.
Right. Remember, they didn't just rush in blindly. They surveyed the land, gathered information, and made informed decisions.
We could all learn a thing or two from that approach, couldn't we?
Absolutely. It's a reminder to slow down, think things through, and set ourselves up for success.
But we don't have to do it alone, right?
Well, of course not. Just like the Israelites had their community and their faith to support them, we can lean on each other, on our friends, family, mentors.
It's about recognizing that we're all in this together, that we need each other to thrive.
Exactly. And that brings us back to that beautiful idea of unity, of recognizing our interconnectedness.
It's about understanding that we're all part of something bigger than ourselves, that our individual actions have ripple effects.
And when we embrace those principles of unity, initiative, preparation, fairness, and boundaries, we create a more just and harmonious world for everyone.
What an inspiring thought. This deep dive has been truly eye-opening. It's amazing how an ancient story about dividing land can offer such profound wisdom for our modern lives.
It's a testament to the enduring power of those timeless principles.
So as we wrap up, what's the one message you hope our listeners will take away from this conversation?
I hope they'll feel empowered to embrace the concept of territory in all areas of their lives.
To define their boundaries, cultivate their passions, take initiative, and build a life that truly reflects who they are.
And to remember that they're not just building their own individual territories, but also contributing to the larger tapestry of their communities and the world around them.
Beautiful.
Hmm.
It's about recognizing our interconnectedness and working together to create a future where everyone can flourish.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. It's been an incredible journey.
My pleasure. And remember, the conversation doesn't end here.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those aha moments coming.
Until next time.
Happy exploring, everyone.